It takes just 30 minutes for black mamba venom to reach your heart, and Kelly Khumalo is now racing against time. In this video, we'll unpack how Kelly's alleged escape ended in a horrifying jungle encounter, how Venom began shutting her organs down, and why some believe this isn't coincidence, but karma uncoiling. Do you believe people can spiritually attract punishment through guilt? Drop your thoughts. And if this story sounds cursed, type karma strikes. She wasn't supposed to be there. Kelly Khumalo, allegedly on a run from intensifying legal pressure, had vanished into the underbrush of a rural forest near the Zimbabwe border. Eyewitnesses say she was attempting to avoid police presence and lurking journalists. But instead of safety, she ran into something far more deadly. A piercing scream echoed through the brush, followed by gasping breaths and desperate cries for help. It wasn't a gunshot, nor a fall. It was a bite. Locals who found her say her leg had already begun to swell and darken in color, signs of something terrifying coursing through her bloodstream. The race to identify the snake species began almost as fast as the venom spread. Some doctors say the neurological breakdown she experienced fits symptoms of a black mamba, one of Africa's deadliest snakes. Yet others argue the localized swelling and necrosis seen on her leg suggest a puff adder, another silent killer common in rural terrain. Each snake carries a different death timeline, but both can end a life within hours. The lack of immediate identification delayed treatment, complicating her already deteriorating state. Whatever it was, it struck with brutal precision and devastating speed. It starts in the blood, then the kidneys, then the heart. Venom doesn't just paralyze. Some types sabotage internal organs from the inside out. In Kelly's case, doctors reportedly observed signs of acute renal failure within hours of the bite. As the kidneys faltered, her body began retaining toxins that would normally be flushed out. That internal poisoning amplified the venom's effects, eventually compromising her cardiovascular system. Her breathing grew shallow. Her pulse weakened. What began as a swollen leg had evolved into a full-body breakdown, with little room left for delay or error. By the time she reached a small, under-resourced clinic just miles in the forest, Kelly Khumalo was barely conscious. Staff claimed she fainted mid-sentence while attempting to answer basic intake questions. It took nearly 45 minutes before an anti-venom injection was even located. Some allege she wasn't formally checked in, likely due to her unrecognizable, bloated state and possible use of a false identity. No entourage, no bodyguards, just a woman collapsing from invisible poison. The slow, cracking spiral of organ failure had already begun, and the anti-venom might have come too late. Whispers from inside her legal circle suggest that Kelly deliberately chose a forest to evade mounting media pressure. Just days before, rumors spread that the courts might issue another order restricting her travel. A tip-off allegedly warned her of surveillance around her residence, prompting a hasty and risky escape plan. She slipped into remote bush paths, thinking she'd find refuge from the spotlight. But in trying to avoid man-made consequences, she met nature's harshest. The wild doesn't care about your intentions. It doesn't wait for your explanations. It simply reacts. Weeks prior to the incident, a well-known traditional healer appeared on a live-stream podcast and issued a vague but eerie prophecy. A woman who defied her ancestors will soon crawl, bitten by the earth. At the time, most thought it was theatrical mysticism. Now, that quote is going viral again. Some fans claim Kelly herself consulted that very healer last year during a career slump. Others say she ignored the advice given to her to purify her past before it rotted her future. Whatever the truth, the timing is now impossible to ignore. In many African traditions, snakes are sacred and deadly. They symbolize both rebirth and wrath from the ancestors. When one appears in your dream or path, it's interpreted as a spiritual message. Was this by the warning or a punishment? The duality is haunting. In Zulu belief systems, a snake could be a messenger from the spirit realm, especially if it bites but doesn't kill immediately. Instead, it lets the victim suffer slowly, allowing time for introspection. As her body weakens, many wonder if her ancestors are the ones watching and waiting. Social media lit up within hours of the snakebite being confirmed. Hashtags like Senzo Justice and Karma Khumalo surged again. For many South Africans, the murder of Senzo Meyiwa still haunts the nation, and Kelly Khumalo's alleged ties to that night have never fully disappeared. Now, facing possible organ failure from a venomous bite, some online voices are calling this divine retribution. Whether it's fair or not, the public court of opinion often sees tragedy not as coincidence, but consequence. And in the eyes of many, snakes and secrets go hand in hand. Zimbabwe's public health system has faced consistent shortages of life-saving anti-venom. Just last month, the Ministry of Health acknowledged critical supply gaps in rural regions. When Kelly arrived at the closest clinic, there was only one remaining vial of polyvalent anti-venom, barely enough to stabilize her condition. Doctors faced a terrifying dilemma: administer a low dose and hope, or transfer her to a better facility hours away. They chose to act. But in snakebite treatment, speed is survival. Every second lost allows toxins to claim more ground in the bloodstream, pushing the body past points of no return. A source inside the hospital leaked a report that painted a terrifying picture. Kelly Khumalo may be suffering from multi-organ dysfunction syndrome. Her kidneys, liver, and lungs are allegedly in progressive failure. MODS occurs when organs begin to shut down one after the other, often after major trauma or sepsis. Once the spiral begins, recovery becomes exponentially more difficult. Doctors are reportedly monitoring her oxygen levels by the minute. If her heart rate dips any further, they may be forced to induce a coma. What began with a bite could end in a total shutdown. Days before the bite, a member of Kelly's entourage revealed that she confided in someone about a dream. In it, she was surrounded by black snakes, hissing but not attacking, until one leaped for her throat. The symbolism was brushed off at the time as stress or paranoia. But after the real bite, that dream has taken on eerie significance. Some claim it was a warning from the spiritual world. Others think it's guilt manifesting through nightmares. Either way, it feels less like coincidence and more like prophecy bleeding into reality. Inside Kelly's family circle, emotions are running high and opinions are splitting fast. One cousin reportedly told a journalist, "Something spiritual is following her. This isn't just nature." Others believe it's not spiritual at all, but human, suggesting foul play might be involved. Some relatives are pushing for traditional cleansing ceremonies. Others want answers from authorities about whether Kelly was tracked, baited, or targeted. The family, once united in protecting her, now seems torn between fear, belief, and fatigue. Whatever this is, it's not just a medical emergency. Its tearing emotional seams wide open. Just 2 days after Kelly's hospitalization, a well-known pastor went viral after delivering a fiery sermon, without mentioning name.